Hey Jürgen, you there?
Ah, yes. Just finished analyzing our recent matches. Quite the roller coaster, isn't it?
Absolutely. Those two early June losses, Avispa Fukuoka and Kashiwa Reysol, hit us a bit hard, but we bounced back well in the Emperor's Cup, beating Zweigen Kanazawa 4-2 and Verspa 4-1.
Indeed, the squad showed real character. Our attacking play has been electric at times, and those cup victories are proof.
Speaking of the Cup, Kawasaki Frontale is up next. How do we approach that one?
Frontale will be a challenge, no doubt. We'll need to be sharp and clinical. And don't forget Kyoto Sanga in the league right after. We need to keep our momentum.
Right, pressure's on, but let's get it done. Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 17 of Red Bull KloppBot here on Sean Does FM with Omiya Ardija. I hope you're doing well and coming up today. We're going to take part in the fourth round of the Emperor's Cup and what's very close to a top of the table clash against the defending champions again in Kawasaki Frontale, and then in a few games time we'll take on Kyoto Sanga in a pretty big clash as well up near the top of the J1. So looking forward to that, as well as some transfers and a little bit of an update on how all the other Red Bull clubs did get on at the end of the European season a couple of weeks ago. Then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up, all that good stuff on this video. Play a couple of games off the back of yesterday's episode where we did take on Yokohama F Marinos, as well as the Rara Red Diamonds in our first derby here with the Red Squirrels. So if you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. Since then, we have actually got through a pretty decent chunk of time in game, just not actually played that many games because we're making our way through this pretty bare patch here in June and July. It started off well in the J1, being a couple of teams down near the bottom of the table. 5-1, we beat Nagoya Grampus, and 2-0 over Vissel Kobe. Then, though, bit of a rough patch off the back of that. We suffered a defeat there in the J1 to Avispa Fukuoka. To be fair, very tired boys going to that game. I think it told there. With that result, you can see our player ratings as well, apart from Tanabe at right back. Not much good for us there. In that game, in about a week and a half off the back of that, we did rotate in the second leg of the J-League Cup round of 16, seeing as we did a 3-goal lead over Kashiwa Reysol from that game I played in between the ones. In yesterday's episode, we still go through, but did get beaten 2-1 there. We leveled things up early in the second half, but they grabbed a winner. But to be fair, we still go through there 6-4 on aggregates. Still, not a bad result for us there, even though that was a defeat. Don't feel too bad about that one. Just a bit frustrating there, the two red dots in a row. So we are through the quarterfinals of the J-League Cup, and we've actually got a really nice draw for that one. We take on a team from all the way down in J3. So really, even though they're up near the top of that division, that should be easy work for us should we make our way through yet again to the semis of the J-League Cup. And we are through, obviously, to this fourth round of the Emperor's Cup. That's off the back of a second round win over Zweigen Kanazawa, thankfully back in winning form there with a 4-2 win. Did play our first 11 in that game instead of that J-League Cup one a couple of days prior, considering the situation off the back of that first tie in that J-League Cup. Then a pretty big break before our third round clash, which was against the team from all the way down below the J3, a 4-1 win. To be fair, this is almost a little bit of a fitness friendly for us there. A double there to Kinoshita, Yokotomo and Lee Hyun-ju also picked up goals, and that's seen us go through to the fourth round, where we're going to take on Kawasaki Frontale in this first game of today's episode. And then I'll take on JF United Chiba off camera. That should be pretty winnable considering they're 12th and we beat them 7-0 earlier in the season. Kyoto Sanga, though, inside the top 4, one of the many teams who are only about 4 or 5 points behind us in terms of the chasing pack. In the J1, as you can see, we have 5 points clear, but then there's a good 4 teams in behind us. Albirex Nagata, Kawasaki, as well as Kyoto Sanga, and the team that most recently beat us in this competition, Avispa Fukuoka. They're all chasing, and with still 15 games left in the season, you'd even include teams like Constellation Sapporo, Kashiwa Reysol, and the Kashima Antlers. So it's still pretty competitive here in the J1, but currently we're holding a decent gap on top of the table, just not quite being able to put the foot down when we've needed to grab a gap quite as big as we did in the J2 last season. Also, off the back of yesterday's episode was the end of the European season. Unfortunately, now we've actually ticked over into the new one, so it's not going to work too well, I can tell you. RB Leipzig Europa League this season after a 5th place finish in the Bundesliga and no success in the cup competition. The KloppBot was okay with that. Was also okay, surprisingly, with Red Bull Salzburg only finishing second in the Austrian Bundesliga. That's a bit of a poor result for those guys, but they did pick up the cup over there in Austria and did a half-decent job making the knockouts of the Champions League for the KloppBot. A little bit concerned about that, but he's okay with Pep Linders at the moment. New York Red Bulls going decently in the MLS, and Bragantino are currently doing pretty well in Serie B, as you'd expect, in one of those automatic promotion spots. So should really be making their way up to Serie A again for 2026 in the save. So we did say, let's just stay at Omiya Ardija and make sure that we do get these guys close to a championship, seeing as it looks like we might be on for at least one trophy this season. Hopefully, if we don't pick this up, can at least make sure we pick up one of these cups. And also, we're in the middle of a transfer window. A couple of players here were a bit upset with the playing time that they've been getting. You can see there we have spent a little bit of money since that transfer window closed a couple of months ago. Two players that we have bought in both in midfield. That's off the back of the sale of Wataru Tanaka. He was our third choice in defensive midfield. We signed him going into our first season here at the club. He's gone to Kyoto Sanga for a fee of £150,000 in the end. 2-star current ability, 3-star potential, handy player, but probably not for J1. So we've sold him, make a little bit of a profit there after buying him for 135k. Did a good job for us last season in 21 appearances, just not playing that much for us this season. To be fair, hasn't started off too well either down in J2 at Kyoto Sanga. So Wataru Tanaka, he is no longer here. We replaced him with Yu Funabashi initially for 200k from Montedio Yamagata. He can do a job in both defensive midfield and box-to-box midfield. He's actually got pretty much the same current ability and potential rating, but the KloppBot still thought he would be a good addition to come in for Wataru Tanaka. Having a look at how much we spent on him, so we did actually make a little bit of a loss there getting rid of Tanaka to bring him in, but hopefully he'll do a decent job if called upon as a third choice in midfield. And also, we did sign Hikaru Naruoka, albeit this was because Raise Abe wanted to leave if a bid came in of 400k, which it did. Just going back over to the transfers, let's get rid of hiding the inactive deals and the wrong players popping up. We've been rejecting some bids there for Shimoda, so it doesn't actually show up on here. But Abe, a bid came in for him from Honda of 400k. He didn't join them, so I probably should have actually delayed this second transfer because now we don't need this guy. And also, he's already played for 2 clubs this season, so he can't actually play for us in the J1 this season. So he'll be a project for next year here at the club. But this is Hikaru Naruoka, who is a bit more of a defensive midfielder. He pretty much does the same job as that other midfielder we signed, but the KloppBot liked him, seeing as he has a bit more potential, could end up being a better player in the long term. 24 years old, handy player, but just a bit of a shame we can't actually use him this season. So that was a little bit of a silly move. We've dropped him down now to the reserve, seeing as we can't actually play him for the rest of this season, but some decent potential. Hopefully we can at the very least make a profit on him as an extra option in midfield for a fee of £220,000. Interesting move that from Fagio Nakayama. They only make 5k on that deal, but to be fair, that is still a little bit of a profit, but a little bit annoyed there that Abe actually didn't accept that move to Honda. Lots of money would have been in it for us, albeit he is homegrown club, so maybe not the worst idea that he has stuck around. And also, we have got rid, on the other side of things, of Tomoyo Osawa, our third choice striker, on loan also to Kyoto Sanga. He was getting frustrated with his game time being homegrown club. I did think a third choice striker like that will try and keep hold of him, just keep him satisfied with that low move. So it currently means only 2 strikers in our first team, but down in our under 18s, we do have a pretty handy striker in Junshu Shia, and he's actually doing a really good job, as you can tell by all those upward arrows. And also, in terms of current ability, he's not that much worse, if any, than Osawa anyway. So he'll get into the first team if there's an injury to one of Kinoshita as well as Yokiyama. We'll just keep him down in the under 18s to make sure he continues to develop with lots of game time. But if we need to call him up, that's what we'll do with that loan out of Osawa. So that's what's been happening in the transfer window and on the pitch. And first up day, going to try and continue in the Emperor's Cup. Of course, last season got knocked out of this quite early by the Kashima Antlers. This time we've picked up a couple of relatively easy wins to start things off in this competition, but now big test for us here in the fourth round against Kawasaki Frontale, the defending champions. We did beat them though not that long ago, so hopefully can do something similar, even though yet again this one is away from home, but they're third on the table, just 5 points behind us. Hopefully if we can pick up a win here, that gives us just a little bit of an edge and also a boost in confidence heading in to that big Kyoto Sanga game second up in today's episode. In terms of injuries, thankfully nothing too serious. A couple of fringe players that we are missing. Kyoto Sanga is out with a sports hernia for 2 to 3 weeks. That's actually a little bit of a concern considering he's our only backup right back in behind Figueiredo. So going back, that means coming up from our under 18s Kensuke Yano. To be fair, we could actually sign a right back or loan one in the remainder of the season with the extra spot, seeing as we can't play the midfielder that we signed for his third club this year. So maybe that's a move that we could make, but Yano comes up from under 18s as our current backup right back with that injury to Tanabe, and also Riku Okai, the backup in behind Hyunju in central attacking midfield, is out currently for a further 8 to 2 weeks with some sprained knee ligaments. To be fair, quite a few of our usual right wing or left wing or even striker backups, they can cover that central attacking midfield position, so that one doesn't hurt us quite as bad. So a couple of injuries, but thankfully only the players who would be in our second 11 at best, so it's not going to hurt us too much here in this game that we are about to play, where hopefully we can continue in the Emperor's Cup by defeating Kawasaki Frontale. And here are the team sheets for this clash in the Emperor's Cup. First up at the home team, Kawasaki Frontale coming to this one in some very good form and going with the 4-2-3-1. We're still going with our slightly adopted for the KloppBot 4-2-3-1 as well, but it's our best 11, just Yano on the bench instead of the injured Tanabe, our form of late. Not quite as good, but to be fair, still getting the job done when it counts. Hopefully can do the same again, make our way through the next round of the Emperor's Cup. And we have to wait a little while for the first highlight of this game, but 21 minutes in, it's a free kick here pretty much on the halfway line to us. We take it short there through core, and so far just keep it in amongst mainly our defence and also our players there down our right hand side. But to be fair, so far not making too much headway, just maybe waiting here for some gaps to appear. Now we go a bit more out to the left hand side, core finds Dimas, and now the gaps, they do open up, albeit good tackle that on unholy Kawasaki Frontale. Good chance there on the counter attack, but nice tackle that. Think it was from Saito, and we put a ball over the top, and Kinoshita will put that one away, I think with a little bit of help off the inside of the post. So good work from us there after losing that ball a little bit. Nice tackle here on Saito, and a really good pass that first time from Matsumoto. He found Yamada, he's back from injury and back in the starting 11, and Kinoshita puts that one away, albeit with quite a bit of help there from the post. But this tackle from Saito into a wonderful little back flick pass there, first touch from Matsumoto. That's not what you expect even from a ball playing defender, but so far you can see the stats there. We have been on the front foot and thankfully get some pay for it there, taking a 1-0 lead. Now a throw in looking there for Yamada, far post. Unfortunately can't quite find him. There's that one to the mixer, but they mark us well. Saito, it goes back to, and now Dimas with an effort, he puts that one away. That makes it 2-0, only 25 minutes in, and we're kicking into gear here in the first half of this one. Hopefully we can make our way through the next round here of the Emperor's Cup, and this might just be what we need to click into gear before the resumption of the J1. It's been a wee while now since we've played a game in the league, but a quick fire double there through Kinoshita and Dimas to give us a 2-0 lead, albeit there's a highlight right off the back of the restart. Lots of action happening here in this little period after a pretty quiet start. Kawasaki Frontale, they keep the ball here down their right hand side, quite similar to what they were doing to us here, put some pressure on us and thankfully get that ball back through core, albeit not for too long. They can maybe find some space here on the left. Some poor marking. Gomez now makes his way into the box, but thankfully his pass there gets blocked. They try and put that one into the mixer, and it's a big save there from Higashi. Gets a good touch on that one to put it out for a corner, so thankfully that keeps it at a 2-goal advantage. We'll see if they can do something here from the corner. Apparently it goes out for a corner to them, but thankfully don't see that. We're still 2-0 in front, just past the half-hour mark. And just about to make our way here into the last 5 minutes of the first half, and still well and truly on the front foot in this game with our 2-goal lead. Trying to make our way here out from the back. We get the ball out there to Unholy, who goes back to core, who goes on a little bit over an adventure. Nice ball over the top there for Kinoshita. Probably could have tried there to chip the goalkeeper, instead tried to rifle that one into the top right corner that time. Can't quite hit the target. Big chance for us there to make it 3-0 and probably put this game to bed before half time, and we might get a chance here again to do that with a throw-in inside the first of 2 minutes of added time core up there to Kinoshita. Lovely ball for Lee Hyun-ju, who was onside, but unfortunately misses the target. It's a big chances for us there to extend our lead just before the half. To be fair, it's a very good first half. The only shot on target did result in a good save from Higashi, but otherwise we've been well and truly on the front foot, and a quick fire double around the 20-minute mark to Kinoshita as well as to Evan Dimas does mean we go into the sheds with a 2-0 lead. Everyone out there doing a decent job, and we're fairly fresh coming to this game, so I don't think any changes are needed just yet. Maybe if we get a big lead, Figueiredo can come off just to make sure we keep our strong option there in right back for those J1 League games coming up, but currently going well with a 2-goal lead. And we've made our way 10 minutes into the second half here, and I think I might make an early sub because Dimas was already on a bit of a deep yellow hat there at half-time, playing well, but I think quite soon he'll go down to a red, so maybe play things safe here with those J1 games coming up. Shimoda can come on for him. 35 minutes left, but still at 2 goals in front. And going forward 10 minutes off their previous sub, now there's a corner here to Kawasaki Frontale. They make their way into the box, and Yamada there gets in the way of Sagawa. Referee blows it up for a penalty, so a chance here for Kawasaki Frontale to get back in this game almost out of nowhere. Oda tries to put it bottom left corner, but again Higashi comes up with a massive save. 2 big chances now he's denied for them, so that's quite good. Off the back of that, they do take the corner out to the edge of the box and rifle that one into the top right, but thankfully it's been blown for offside. Let's just see what this was for. Interfering the goalkeeper. There's some justice from earlier this week, and to be fair, that one is actually a little bit in the way of the goalkeeper. That one does kind of make sense. We're going to make some subs here. A few players up front going a little bit fairly. We'll take off Hyunju for Yokoyama and also Anhori for Kabayama. And while we're here, we might give Figueiredo a rest while on a 6.8 young Yano can come on for him. That's most of our subs now used. Still 2-0 in front with 23 minutes left. And only a few minutes off the back of those subs now, there's a free kick for us here, albeit not a very good one. We pumped that one deep, not too sure if we're actually looking there for Kinoshita to get on the end of that one, but unfortunately Kawasaki Frontale here with a chance to try and make their way out from the back, but probably they'll be ringing that penalty chance they had before. Big save that from Higashi for the second time in this game. Some poor work from them there too, trying to make their way out from the back. So we now get a chance here on the counter attack, but that ball not on the money. So now it's Kawasaki Frontale. They make their way into our half. They find someone here down their left-hand side, squares it for Sagawa, who earned the penalty. He puts it away. Must have just stayed on side too. Higashi finally gets beaten, and they're back in this one at 2-1. Maybe made some subs here a little bit too soon, much like the Kashiwa Ray Soul game late on last week. Let's just see how close this was to being offside. And unfortunately, looks like our right back there, in fact it's Matsumoto, just keeps Sagawa onside. That makes it 2-1. And now we've got Saito dropping down to a red hearts with our final sub. We don't really have an option on the bench to replace him unless Nuki can do a job in defensive midfield. Let's just see if our other centre backs are capable in that position. Not really. So I think here, if we want to take off Saito, it's going to be for Nuki a little bit out of position, but that's going to be our final sub off the back of Kawasaki Frontale grabbing a goal back. And pretty sure the back of that final sub, there is a chance here for Kawasaki Frontale again on the counter-attack, and they play this one out this time. The right-hand side find themselves in a fair bit of space. Good square there. Not too sure who that was for, but thankfully that one cannons off the woodworks. The Kawasaki Frontale with those subs are now getting themselves right back into this game. Yokoyama down the other end on the counter-attack. Unfortunately, didn't have much support, but does earn us a corner. But thankfully, the goalkeeper in the woodwork coming to our rescue a little bit in this game. We go far post from the set piece, but unfortunately, that one gets headed away safely. We're still in front 2-1, only 15 minutes left. And just about to make our way here into the last 5 minutes of this game, still with that 2-1 lead. So now it's time for us here to just slow things down ever so slightly and also lower that tempo and tell our goalkeeper to slow things down as well, start time wasting just a little bit off the back of that free kick to Yamada. He's not too bad at those in that time. Takes a good save there from the Kawasaki Frontale goalkeeper to put that one out for a corner. Kanade takes his time here over this set piece. Let's see if he can find the head of someone. Unfortunately, he cannot. Goes out there to Kabayama. Good tackle on him, but thankfully are going to get this ball back. Interesting ball there. Did find Nuki though, and he eventually gets it back there. Does Kabayama, and eventually that highlight comes to an end. We've got 4 minutes of added time. Hopefully won't see any highlights in this period and can wrap this game up. But just as I'm saying that, a throw for them here quite late on, and we head that one away. They then have a shot through Oda, and that one comes off the woodwork. To be fair, I think the angle there, not sure it would have been Higashi. Anyway, in the form he's been in this game, he gets player of the match for that penalty save, and also a couple of really big ones as well, especially in the first half. Looked a pretty big sitter there that did get saved, but that is a 2-1 win. A good first half there. Does prove important, those goals to Kinoshita and Dimas around the 20-minute mark do mean that we pick up a 2-1 win. Based on stats, I think we deserve that, even though their XG is quite high. Obviously, that got boosted quite a bit from the penalty, and to be fair, they did start to really get into gear off the back of that with some subs that we did make, but thankfully it all works out this time and we pick up a 2-1 win. Let's just see who else is going through here. I think now to the quarterfinals of the Emperor's Cup. Some decent teams, but no one we should be fearful of. Hopefully we get Miyazaki there in the next round, because they definitely look the weakest team of those left, but thankfully we continue in the Emperor's Cup off the back of a 2-1 win over Kawasaki Frontale. And we did have a J1 League game before we came back for this next clash against Kyoto Sanga, and it was against Cheif United. She was able to put out the same team that played that cup game and got to a good start there again. Evan Dimas, he got on the score sheet 1-0 up at halftime. Kabiyama had to come on for unholy reasonably early in this game with a niggle. He set up that goal there to make it 2-0 and then really put this game to bed with 15 minutes left. Some good short passing, and Kabiyama put that one away. So good impact there from our left winger. That could be important considering a player's under transfer bid. As you'll see shortly, they did grab a goal back late when really on the attack, but to be fair, by this stage it was definitely a case of too little too late, and we pick up a 3-1 win to make sure that we will be top of the J1, going in to a close to top of the table clash second up in today's episode. But pretty good result for us there. You can see they came in a slate pretty similar to Kawasaki Frontale in that previous game, but in the end that's a relatively comfortable win. So it does mean going into the second game of today's episode we're still 5 points clear. Kyoto Sanga, they've made their way up now to third. Kawasaki Frontale, they are the team now up in second. So a good result for us there first up in today's episode, in the cup being the team, the defending champions, hot on our heels in the J1. But we're going to take on here Kyoto Sanga, a team we took on earlier this season, and I'm pretty sure going back to our schedule, their recent form though isn't that great. So hopefully this is a team we can get the best of. They did get knocked out there by Vispa Fukuoka in the Emperor's Cup, and also looks like they might be out of the J-League Cup as well. So really they're going to be focusing now on the league, but I'm pretty sure earlier this season we picked up a win over them. If I can find it, must have been a bit earlier in the season indeed. A 3-0 win away from home. So hopefully we can do something similar here in front of our home fans. To be fair, there was a second half red card in that game. Does look like that influenced it quite a bit. So maybe that means the scoreline did blow out a bit more than it probably should have. But hopefully we can pick up a win here and make sure we keep ourselves in front of a decent chasing pack. As I said earlier, in particular, those teams between second and fifth really on our heels currently in the J1. Hopefully we continue to pick up the points and keep that 5-point gap, just to make sure we can afford one slip up, and also if they slip up it gives us an opportunity to grab an even bigger gap, which might just be enough going into the last 10 or so games of this season. We've got the same injury concerns as we had for that previous game, albeit Anhaloti did pick up a twisted knee in that game against JF United. Chiba has come back from it, but isn't quite on a full green heart. And also, we're going to touch on Anhaloti, because he's currently under bid from Beiying Guan, and the KloppBot suggested we accepted that bid of £1.1 million. Anhaloti might be on his way out. We do have a replacement lined up. We'll see if that goes through off the back of this game. But Anhaloti is a pretty decent player, been doing very well for us, but 28 years old, and these days, only 3-star current ability, a good J2 player. So to be fair, there's probably an area we can improve, especially as that would be with a foreign spot, but it's going to be Kabiyama who does start in this upcoming game. Also, Dimas is on a heavy week off back of those last two games, so Shimoda can come in to the starting 11 for this upcoming one. There's one more injury we did pick up, but that's Rasayabe. Not going to miss him too much, being our 3rd/4th choice there in box-to-box midfield. So hopefully, despite missing a few regular first teamers for this game through minor injuries and a bit of tiredness, we can still pick up a win here over Kyoto Sanga and potentially extend that gap on top of the table. And here are the team sheets for this big J1 clash second up. In today's episode there we are form starting to get a bit better. A couple of changes as we mentioned before. Shimoda in box-to-box midfield and Kabiyama at left wing. There are Kyoto Sanga, as you saw there, form a little bit average, but going with that 5 at the back formation with 2 defensive midfielders quite similar to what Consadole Sapporo use, and we do struggle to beat that team. So maybe that's going to be a little bit of a ploy now by teams against us. They see what Consadole Sapporo do against us and realise that actually works quite well. Maybe we should copy it. And not an ideal start here. They're on the attack straight away, albeit poor pass. Shimada gets that one back for us. Lee Hunju plays it forward there too. Shimoda gives it away, but gets it back, plays it forward there to Kabayama, and only 19 seconds in, we take a 1-0 lead. Some poor work there from Kyoto Sanga from the kickoff. I think it was only the second pass from them there that they gave the ball away. Thankfully, got it back there, a header clear from Kimura to Shimoda. Plays it through to Kabayama, who beats their goalkeeper from a tight angle. A rapid start, 1-0 up, inside 30 seconds. And pretty sure the figure that opening goal to front here for Kyoto Sanga, but it's deep inside their half and they give us the ball. We have it here inside of the final third. Kanade goes down. No, Pioni Shimoda now on the ball, having set up that first goal. Kanade looking for a teammate. Unfortunately, doesn't find him, and for some reason, Kanade there runs away from the ball. A good chance there for Kyoto Sanga to equalise, but thankfully, Lei there does hit the woodwork that's come to our rescue now quite a bit in today's episode, but thankfully get away with that one on the counter attack from Kyoto Sanga, and we're still 1-0 in front. And going forward to just past the 20-minute mark now, Kyoto Sanga were on the attack, but thankfully good foot in there. I think that was from Core, and now we get a chance here to make our way out from that, going back to Higashi and getting back up to Core. Let's see if we can grab a 2-goal lead again, just like we did against Kawasaki Frontale. Kabayama looking dangerous today, coming in for the underbid Unhaloti. We play it one nicely for Lee Hyunju, but unfortunately that shot does get deflected, albeit the highlight will continue. We knock the ball about here on the edge of the box. Let's see if Saito can put it top left corner, gets well under that one. Still 1-0 halfway through the first half. And just making our way here late into the first half of this game, most of the highlights in our favour, apart from that one off the back of that really quick fire goal we scored from the kickoff, even though it was actually in favour of Kyoto Sanga. They gave the ball away, and Shimoda found Kabayama, who gave us a 1-0 lead. Thankfully, the woodwork saved us down the other end. Since then, been a little bit quiet, but we've definitely been on the front foot, but only one shot on target from 6. Not very good. Hyunju and Kinoshita not going too well. We'll give them 10 or so minutes in the second half to try and prove their range, but to be fair, we're doing fairly well here with a 1-0 lead. Let's hope we can kick away and pick up 3 more points. And just we're about to hit the 10-minute mark here of the second half. There is a throw-in for us here inside the final field. We knock it about here, edge of the box, a tackle, but thankfully get that one back. Ball over the top there from Saito. Can't quite find a teammate, albeit good header fall from there, and we get it back, albeit Yamada, but loose on the ball there, and Kyoto Sanga with a chance here to make their way out from the back, albeit Shimoda, putting them there under good pressure. And Kabayama tracks back nicely. A little bit fortunately, get that ball back there through Kanade. Saito finds Shunju. Nice ball over the top there. For Shimoda, he might pick up another assist, albeit I think Kinoshita there might have just been a stride in front. Didn't really need to be. Hopefully, that won't be the case, but do think the assistant referee put their flag up. And indeed, that's the case. That Kinoshita really should have made that 2-0, but couldn't quite stay onside. Lovely ball over the top there for Shimoda, but he's just a stride offside. Didn't really need to be either, because he was a fair way in front of the defence, but off the back of that, I think we're going to take him off on a 6.4 for Yokoyama, and also Hyunju, albeit that makes things a bit more interesting, because Yokoyama usually our backup in that position off of the bench, but I think Unhaloti might be the best option between him and one of those players already out there doing a decent job at right and left wings. Unhaloti will try him centrally and Yokoyama up front. Thankfully, still 1-0 in front. Albeit only a few minutes off back of those subs. There's a corner here to Kyoto Sanga. Thankfully, we head that one away, albeit not too well. They get the ball here again on the edge of the box. Take on a shot. It gets deflected. It falls to Hara, who heads it home pretty much into an open. That's a pretty rubbish goal to concede that one, but it serves us right for not taking all our chances down the other end. With a lot so far in this game, but shots on target has not been good. That might have even come off 2 posts there before finding Hara. That's pretty unfortunate. Higashi, he gets beaten, and Kyoto Sanga equalise with 25 minutes left. And just about to sneak our way into the last 20 minutes of this game, and I think it's time for us here to make some subs. Figueiredo down to a 6.4, so may as well take him off here for Yano, especially with the whole injury situation with our right backs. Currently also, we might try Unhaloti at left wing, Kabayama centrally, and bring on Yokotomo here for Fuki Yamada. He's been in pretty good form, while Yamada has been out injured. Let's see if that helps us grab a winner in the last 20 minutes. Now it's 1-0. And only a few minutes after that previous sub, now it's time for our last one, as Saito going well is down to a red hat. This time we've got an option on the bench in Ohashi. Last sub as we look for a winner in the last 15 minutes. And just about to sneak our way here into the last 5 minutes of this game, still locked up at 1-1. But as I say that, we've got a corner here in a good area. Unfortunately, tackle there on Yokotomo, so that ball goes all the way back to halfway, but thankfully good pass there to find our new right back in Yano, who goes down inside the box. Might be a big chance for us here from the spot. It did look pretty soft. Hopefully the VAR agrees that we should get this penalty. Big chance for us here to potentially steal 3 points late on in this game. Be fair, I say steal. We've been pretty dominant for the most part, but VAR disagrees. It's not a penalty. Maybe David Coots back for this one. We all know he hates the KloppBot. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, to be fair. Did look like a pretty soft foul, that one on Yano. Not even a foul, because obviously not a penalty. And those are some drop points for us there at home. A bit frustrating considering we had a lot more shots there than Kyoto Sanga, but really we had a few more on target. Apart from that one, only 20 seconds in to Kawayama. Lots of chances off the back of that, but couldn't make the most of them. They grab an equaliser through a pretty fortunate goal there with 25 minutes left. I think it came off the woodwork a couple of times, but to be fair, the woodwork has helped us out a couple of times in today's episode, so it's a bit frustrating a game. We definitely should have won, and for now, we are 6 points clear. We'll go forward and see how much that changes once the other teams get through their games in this match week. So some frustrating drop points for us there at home against Kyoto Sanga. It actually feels like currently here we're dropping more points at home than we are away from home. But as you can see, the table's a bit close now. We've only got a 3-point gap on top of the table. Here are the results from the Saturday. You can see Kawasaki Frontale absolutely whipped Vissel Kobe. Boy, they're awful. No idea what's going on with one of the preseason favourites. And also Albirex Nagata, they picked up a win over Gumbo Osaka. And also down further at Vispa Fukuoka, they beat Tokyo Verdy. So everyone else has closed the gap on us, apart from Kyoto Sanga. To be fair, doesn't change too much, apart from the fact our 5-point gap has gone down to 3, so a bit of a slip up from us there. Hopefully we can still hold on to the top spot in J1, especially considering our next little run of games does look a little bit easier up until we have the Cup quarterfinal in the Emperors, because that is actually quite a tricky tie, which we might be coming back for in tomorrow's episode. But before then, there's been some transfer business go through while those results have been coming through. Anhaloli has made his way to Beijing Guans, one of our star players here, at least in terms of foreigners at left wing. He has gone over there to China for 1.1, potentially rising to 1.2 million pounds. Definitely, I think, our biggest sale so far here at Omiya Ardija. And we've replaced him with Joseph Amuzu, who comes in previously from Michelin over in Belgium. Here's what he looks like. He comes in for £250,000. To be fair, it's a pretty profitable transfer for us. Now, his current ability doesn't look too great, but potential-wise, he's quite decent. And in terms of attributes, even though he looks like nothing special, is a bit better than what we did just sell in Anhaloli. So hopefully he'll do a decent job for us. Will the 21-year-old Belgium did say of some Michelin actually recently has been at Dordrecht. He started his career off at Michelin. They must have got a little bit of that transfer fee, but hopefully Joseph Amuzu can prove a worthy replacement there for Anhaloli, and it doesn't disrupt us too much as we continue to try and pick up all the trophies here in Japan in our first season up in the J1. But that will do it for today's episode. As I said, frustrating draw there with Kyoto Sanga. We are doing pretty well in the Cups, making our way through to the quarterfinals with that win over Kawasaki Frontale. If you enjoyed that episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. Coming off the back of this, we've got some pretty easy games in the J1 for a little bit. Also, that J-League Cup, that tie looks pretty easy as well in the quarters of that competition. So what we might come back for is that Emperors Cup quarterfinal against Albirex Nagata. They're one of those teams in that chasing pack behind us, looking to win the J1 title, so that could be quite a big quarterfinal. We can beat them, got a serious chance of making our way through to both the semi-finals and the Cups. Hopefully can pick up a win there, especially as I'd like to think we could rotate in those games prior. Hopefully give some of the first teamers a rest if they do need it. But to be fair, we've got a nice week-long gap in between these next couple of games that we do play, and also Tokyo Verdy not going too well either. So really games we should be picking up wins in the J1 around that Emperors Cup quarterfinal. So I think we might come back for that this season. It might take a little bit longer than the first one did, considering we're in the hunt for quite a few trophies. Hopefully it does remain that way at the very least until we get to September, when we take on a couple more serious threats in Kawasaki Frontale again, as well as Kashiwa Racewell. But until tomorrow, I think, for that quarterfinal in the Emperor's Cup, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.